G'day there, boys and girls. Stan the Writer Man here. Today I'm going to tell you a little story about listening to someone and taking advice from someone who's older, more experienced, and wiser. Now, one dark evening when the moon wasn't out and the wind was howling, I was riding my motorbike home from a big day of study. And I was winding my way up this little hill towards a roundabout. And there was no one else on the road, but I could see in the distance there was a car coming towards that roundabout, and one or other of us was going to get there first. And now, of course, as I approached the roundabout, that person was going to give way to me because they were coming in from the left. And I thought, look, I've got right of way, but I knew that when you're a motorbike rider, it's wise, very wise, to think of yourself as pretty much invisible. So I slowed down to a smart speed and thought, look, I'll just take it easy as we come in towards this roundabout. And he saw me, or she saw me, and slowed down, and they got right up to the roundabout, and I got right up to the roundabout, and just as that person got to the point of stopping, that person changed their mind. Goodness me. And I was looking over thinking very little at all, because in very much almost no time at all, they hit my front wheel and I came off my bike and I went flying through the air. And my bike went off in the other direction like that, and they just drove off into the distance and I never saw them again. Now, I wonder what you think might have happened to me. I'm going to tell you in a little while, but before that, I just want to make a point about two kinds of riders. When I first started to ride a motorbike, even before I got on, when I was driving a car, I noticed there were two kinds of riders on the road. There was the wise kind, the wise old owl kind, and they wore everything on their bodies and on their heads to protect them. They had a helmet, they had gloves, they had a jacket, they had their rider jeans on, and they had their rider boots on. And there was that other kind of rider. And let's just call them, well, let's just say they weren't so smart. And those people, they didn't even wear gloves or a jacket or trousers or boots. They only wore what the law, absolutely minimum guidelines of the law said they had to wear, and that was a helmet. And I wonder if they'd even have worn a helmet if it didn't say they had to by law. Now, when I did my rider training, I was already aware that there were two kinds of riders, and I knew that my rider trainers were going to be these kind. I knew they were going to be these kind. Yeah, and they were indeed. They were wearing all the gear on the day I turned up, and I was the one who was learning and the beginner, even though they'd been riding for such a long time. They still wore their gear. And I thought, I'm sitting here on my bike, and I'm learning from these guys. And if they're wearing all the gear, well, so will I. I'll follow after their example and listen to everything they tell me as carefully as I can. Now, I can tell you now, I know what would have happened that night if I wasn't wearing this gear. You guessed it, I was trying as hard as I could to be a wise rider. And you know what, if I was being a rider, I would have either gone to hospital or heaven, and I don't know which one, but either way, I think I would have preferred to have been still here today talking to you. And I might not have been if I wasn't being a rider. Now, I wonder if you can guess where I'm going with this. By now, you probably can. Yep. When our teachers and our parents and all of those wise people in our lives say things to us like, hey, don't talk over the top of me, I'm trying to help you out here. Or listen to others when talking to you. I want you guys to be wise. Be wise. Wisdom. Wisdom is such an important friend in life. If you can listen to your teachers, follow your parents' instructions, and listen to those who are more experienced and especially those who are wiser than us, that will make your life so much smoother, so much easier, so much more fun and enjoyable. So that when you grow older and you've got your own family and your own job and you're out there in the world, or even just in high school when things start getting a bit more responsible and you've got to do a bit more work on your own, you'll have that wisdom that'll make life so much better. Well, guys, it's been fantastic sharing this story with you today. Have a jolly good afternoon, or whatever time of day it is when you happen to catch this little snippet, and I will hopefully see you at some point down the road. Not again.